Negotiations on a temporary ceasefire between the United States and Iran have already started to influence the global economy. One of the key issues under discussion is the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, which had triggered rising fuel and logistics prices across many countries ahead of the conflict, contributing to economic instability. Reports indicate that U.S.-flagged vessels have begun passing through the strait once again. According to Financial Times, Tehran has introduced a new and unusual condition for the use of this strategic waterway. The report states that Iran is demanding a $1 fee per barrel of oil, with payments required exclusively in cryptocurrency. Meanwhile, CNN reports that during the 2-week ceasefire period, Iran and Oman plan to collect up to $2 million in transit fees from ships passing through the strait. Currently, only about 5% of the previous shipping volume is moving through the waterway. Political analysts view the ceasefire discussions as the beginning of a new phase in global markets. While this may initially signal stability, the economic reality could become more complex. Wars often lead to the restructuring of economic systems, and one of the most notable shifts is the growing strength of cryptocurrencies. Conflicts and sanctions tend to erode trust in traditional currencies. Restrictions on capital movement push investors to seek alternatives that are increasingly found in digital assets. So, what lies ahead for the global economy? German government spokesperson Sebastian Hill said in a briefing that the 2-week ceasefire creates prospects for reopening the Strait of Hormuz. However, he cautioned that expectations should remain realistic.
The reopening of the Strait of Hormuz will take time, and conditions will not immediately return to the levels seen in February. Shipping will require time to reach previous volumes, and stabilizing global supply and rebuilding disrupted production facilities is a process that also takes time.
Although WTI crude oil prices suddenly fell by 13 to 18%, they remain above pre-war levels. Brent crude has experienced a similar decline. Natural gas prices have also dropped by 5%. The cryptocurrency market has followed the broader trend, while Bitcoin, Ethereum, and gold have all risen by about 2.5%. Despite these movements, trading floors remain tense. Economists note that the ceasefire is crucial for the global economy, emphasizing that a major disaster has for now been averted. However, the ongoing negotiations have yet to produce a unified agreement, leaving some countries concerned that economic and social instability may not be over.
Stock markets are beginning to breathe a little easier. We are one step closer to secure trade routes. However, it must also be noted that uncertainty remains very high and risks are still present. Negotiations must continue. The conflict needs to be resolved in the long term, and safe and free passage through the Strait of Hormuz must be restored.
Hope is also rising for normalization in Asian stock markets. Indices in Japan, South Korea, and Hong Kong have increased between 3% and 7%. Analysts note that while optimism is growing, uncertainty remains, and it is still unclear how events will unfold in the coming days.
So concerns over the Middle East is and the crude oil future decline, buying of Japanese stock is leading the market. I think the decline of crude oil price is a big factor, major factor supporting Japanese stocks. There's a reason to be optimistic, but it's still too early to tell because, as you know, after all, it's the Trump.
Although announcements about the negotiations have driven stock prices up and caused notable corrections in the oil market, the ability for capital to move quickly and securely remains critical during periods of heightened risk. Traditional banking systems face limitations due to sanctions and regulations, while cryptocurrency markets offer a more flexible alternative. This has led to increased use of digital assets, especially in unstable regions. Political analysts note that even during times of conflict, lawmakers in major global economies have been working on passing and improving cryptocurrency legislation, highlighting its growing role in the international financial system.
And Bitcoin, superpower of the world, Bitcoin's very powerful. It's all becoming powerful. So many people now, they want to pay you in crypto. They want to pay you in Bitcoin. And we have to be at the top of it in all of these, call it an industry.
Economic power is no longer defined solely by resources or military strength. It increasingly lies in how and where capital is stored. And while wars may reshape borders in this new era, the most significant transformation is taking place in the way payments are made.